On a quiet farm there was a tractor that had been used by the farmer for years in his daily work. It was a solid, reliable piece of equipment that kept the farm in good condition by working all the time. One day the farmer decided that the tractor needed a service, so he took it to a mechanic. The road to the mechanic led through picturesque landscapes, full of fields and meadows that the farmer had known since he was a child. The tractor moved slowly along a narrow, gravel road, surrounded by strips of ripe grain and clumps of trees whose leaves were beginning to turn autumn shades of gold and red. After a thorough inspection by the mechanic, it turned out that the tractor, while still in good condition, needed some essential repairs. The first thing that needed to be done was an oil change. The engine was running smoothly but needed fresh lubrication to avoid overheating and wearing out parts. Then the mechanic noticed that the tires, which had struggled over the years on the farm's rough, uneven terrain, were already badly worn and needed replacing with new, more durable, grippy tires. During the inspection, the mechanic also suggested adding new equipment that could significantly increase work efficiency. New LED headlights were installed, which allowed work after dark, as well as additional roof lights and new horns. A modern radiator grille and a large front weight were also added. Finally, it was left to screw on new, more durable wheels with better traction. These improvements not only extended the tractor's life, but also increased its value and functionality. After repairs, the tractor was ready for many more years of work, helping on the farm faster and more efficiently than ever. After returning to the farm, the tractor once again became an invaluable support. It made everyday work easier, and its reliability allowed the farmer to focus on other aspects of running the farm, such as harvesting crops or managing livestock. On the old farm at the back, by the fence, stood a forgotten, rusty tractor. It used to be the heart of the place, working the fields, pulling heavy trailers and helping with everything that required strength and perseverance. But over time, as new machines appeared, its glory days came to an end and the tractor was put aside. There, among the weeds and under a layer of dust, it lost its former glory, looking at the farm he once knew from every side. One day, the decision was made. It was time to say goodbye to an old friend. Early in the morning, a team showed up to transport the tractor to the scrapyard. farm, where an old tractor had worked for years, a large trailer arrived, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. The farmer waited eagerly, for today, new machines were being delivered. As the trailer slowly rolled into the yard, two massive loads became visible, a shiny, modern green tractor and a huge baler gleaming in the morning sun. The new tractor, larger and more powerful than the old one, was perfectly suited for heavy tasks like baling hay. The older tractor, standing in the shadow of the barn, watched with curiosity as both giants were carefully unloaded from the trailer. Although the new tractor's size and advanced technology were impressive, the older one knew it still had an important role on the farm. With satisfaction, the farmer started up the new machine. Its engine roared, and the baler, now attached to the new tractor, was ready for action. The green tractor easily drove out to the field, where rows of freshly cut hay awaited. The older tractor watched with pride, knowing that farm work would now be even more efficient. The new tractor, equipped with the massive baler, moved smoothly across the field, gathering the hay and forming large, perfectly packed bales. Each bale was tightly wound and secured, ready for transport. The farmer watched with contentment as the new equipment handled the tough task, completing in no time what usually took hours. At the end of the day, the tractor and baler returned to the yard. Although the new tractor and baler were impressive in their capabilities, the old tractor knew they would make a perfect team, taking on any challenge that farm life had to offer. The farm was in turmoil when the farmer decided to build a new shelter for the tractors. The previous shelter was already too small, and the coming winter required a solid place where the machines would be safe from rain and snow. The tractor, as the main character of the story, knew that he had an important task ahead of him. To build the shelter, he needed wood, which could be found in the nearby forest. The farmer hooked up a large trailer to the tractor and sent it on its way. When everything was ready, the construction of the shelter began. Tractor watched with satisfaction as the new place of shelter grew before his eyes. Every beam and plank was carefully fastened, and the shelter took shape. After some time, the construction was completed. The new shelter was solid and spacious, ready to accommodate not only the tractor, but other machinery as well. The farmer smiled with satisfaction at his work, and the tractor proudly drove inside, knowing that thanks to his work, the farm now had a safe place for its vehicles.
After a day of mowing, large bales of straw were neatly stacked in the field, ready to be hauled away. The tractor knew it had a busy day ahead of it, because it was his job to get all the bales into the barn before the rain came. Early in the morning, 2 tractors attached a suitable trailer and a Cyclops loader and headed out to the field. At last the straw was safe, neatly stacked in the barn, dry and ready for winter. Every bale had its place, so the supplies could be used without any problems in the coming months.
Welcome to my farming simulation game. This video is intended for ages 13 plus, and this channel only features gaming animations. Today, a plane delivers a box of empty alcoholic beverage bottles to our farm. The farmer's task will be to mow the wheat and deliver it to the factory producing drinks. First, we will load empty bottles onto the truck trailer using a forklift, and then the combine harvester will go to the wheat field. Excellent. This is our wheat field. This is one of the ingredients of our drink, which gives it a specific wheat flavor. So let's get started. It looks like our combine harvester has a full tank. What machine will we need to empty? Yes. For this task, we will need a large tractor with a large green trailer. Excellent. The trailer is all full. It's time to take our grain to the appropriate mill that will pack it into bags. Our wheat bags are ready. It's time to take them to the factory where they will be added to the remaining ingredients of our whole drink. We are on site at a beverage factory. The basic stages of production of our drink are mashing, filtration of the mash, brewing, fermentation, maturation, filtration, and finally bottling. Excellent. We can fill our drink and deliver it to the farm.
In a small, quiet village, surrounded by green fields and old trees, lived a farmer whose day always started early. The farmer stood in the barn looking at the cows, whom he had known and cared for years, who lazily raised their heads at the sight of him. Each had its own character. One liked to approach first, the second was always shy, and the third, curious, looking into every corner. Today, like every day, he had work ahead of him, feeding the herd. So he went to the barn next door to get his tractor. The tractor, although it was old, was a reliable helper in everyday duties. Its red paint, although dusty here and there, still gleamed in the morning sun. The farmer smiled at the sight of his machine, which had served him faithfully for years, helping with every task, from collecting hay, through plowing, to transporting animal feed.
Winter on the farm was beautiful, but also demanding. After heavy snowfall, vehicles and tractors that had set out across the river to get materials for work were stuck in deep snow. There was only one way to get them back: build a solid bridge over the river before the weather became even more severe.
The tractor that worked on the farm every day noticed something unusual. After a night of snow, snowdrifts covered the entire area, and the farm road was completely impassable. The tractor decided to face this challenge on its own. On a small country road, among fields and forests, a quiet but distinctive roar of an engine could be heard in the distance. Suddenly, an elegant red Porsche emerged from around the bend, pulling a flatbed truck. On the flatbed truck, in full sunlight, rested a tractor, yellow, shiny, ready for a new life on the farm. It was not an ordinary sight. Porsche and tractor are quite an unusual duo, but on this day they had a common task. The Porsche, known for its power and speed, pulled its load with precision, easily overcoming the country paths. The tractor, although much larger, proudly presented itself on the trailer, knowing that it would soon start its work in a new place. After a few miles, they reached the farm. The farmer was already waiting, ready to welcome the new arrival. The yellow tractor that had just rolled off the flatbed had an important task ahead of it. Its mission was to transport bales of straw from the field to the farm. After a long journey on the flatbed, the tractor couldn't wait to finally get to work. It was created for such tasks. Its powerful engine and durable construction made it ideal for carrying heavy loads. morning, as the sun rose over the farm, a small orange car set off with a farmer on board. Their destination was an orchard full of ripe apples waiting to be picked. The road was straight and led through beautiful fields and forests, but when the car reached the forest path, it encountered a huge problem. A fallen tree lay in the middle of the road. This was the only way to the orchard. Farm in the valley, the tractor faced a new challenge. After several weeks of rain, the roads leading to the fields had become muddy and difficult to drive on. The farmer decided to pave the main road so that the machines could move between the farm and the fields without any problems. This task required not only strength but also precision, so the tractor was the ideal candidate, even more precise and efficient. The yellow tractor was assigned to transport gravel and rocks from a nearby gravel pit. He hitched up a large trailer and set off. The gravel pit was on a hill, and the road to it led through steep inclines and narrow bends. When he reached the gravel pit, the loading of heavy gravel and rocks began. The loader lifted the material efficiently, and the tractor watched as the trailer filled to the brim. After loading, the tractor started back, more carefully this time, because the load was heavy and the road down was steep. The engine held power, and the wheels rolled steadily on the slippery surfaces. Upon arrival, the tractor carefully spread gravel on the designated section of road. Using additional tools, it hardened the surface, making the road even and strong. The stones were laid carefully, each layer strengthening the route that all the machines would soon drive on. When the job was done, the tractor slowly drove over the newly paved road, checking its quality. The road was smooth and ready for use. The tractor happily headed towards the farm, knowing that now working in the fields would be much easier, and he had helped everything run more smoothly. Farm, where the tractor did its job every day. One day, a serious problem arose. The fence on the outskirts of the farm had a large hole. Through it, wild animals began to enter the fields, destroying crops. The farmer decided to repair the fence, and the tractor played a key role in this task. The tractor received an order. First, it had to take the wood from the forest to the sawmill to cut it into boards to repair the fence. Without a moment's delay, the tractor hitched up the trailer and headed for the forest. The road was long and winding, and the forest was full of huge tree trunks that needed to be loaded. The tractor, with the help of the loader, he went into action. With a full load, it headed for the sawmill, where the lumber machines were already waiting. The tractor arrived without a hitch, and the mill workers quickly got to work, turning the large logs into planks. When everything was ready, the tractor loaded the planks onto a trailer and headed back to the farm. When he returned to his spot, the planks were back in place, creating a solid fence that once again protected the farm. The hole in the fence disappeared, and the tractor looked proudly at its handiwork. It had done the job perfectly, and it could rest in the garage, knowing that its work had helped to secure the farm from uninvited guests. It was another day full of challenges, but the tractor proved to be irreplaceable in every situation.
The short animation shows a variety of tractors in action, performing tasks in different settings. It starts with a morning on the farm, where a green tractor begins work. Each vehicle moves smoothly, and the animation emphasizes their maneuverability. The colors are vivid, and the surroundings are full of details.
surrounded by golden fields, there lived a little red tractor named Max. Although he was the smallest tractor on the farm, his red paint always shone in the sun, and his engine ran quietly and smoothly. One day, as the harvest was approaching, Max saw that all the larger tractors were busy. They all had their own tasks. One was reaping the crops, another was turning the hay, and yet another was baling the straw. Max, although small, wanted to make himself useful. He decided to help in his own way. Max set out to the field, where he noticed that several small bales of hay had been left out. He knew that even such a small task was important. With precision, he drove up to the bales, picked them up one by one, and transported them to the storage room. The farmer was surprised at how much Max had done, despite his size. When the day was over, Max returned to his garage tired but proud. He knew that even though he was small, his work was just as important as that of the larger tractors. From that day on, Max became the hero of the farm, a red tractor that proved that it is not size that counts, but the heart to work.